game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening. We've been cutting, shaping, and painting. We've created strength and beauty time and again. Our machines are made for one thing: the perfect hit. We are the crouch. We are the bind. We are the set. We are the squeeze. We are the hit. We are Rhino, home of the scrum.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing.
Welcome back to Aviva Stadium here in Houston, Texas. It is the National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Shield weekend. John Broker with Pat Clifton ready for another matchup. We have the independent red, as we wear in red, running from right to left on your screen. And in the gray is going to be Mid-Atlantic. They've had a little bit of a jersey snafu. Their jerseys are currently somewhere between Alaska and Houston. We're not exactly sure where. So they've got some shirts from Great Lakes, the Thunderbirds. So they're going to be called the Thunder Sharks for this game, Pat. They've asked to give some thank you to that Great Lakes team.
All Thunder up top, all Sharks on the bottom.
Boy, you're quick, man. You got it on today. We have from right to left the Thunder Sharks kicking off here. Ball comes down to Ollie Corbett. Independent Red won their first game of the day. Mid-Atlantic lost to Great Lakes. Mid-Atlantic going back on this to Thunder Sharks. Trying to keep the ball alive. Ball coming through. Estevez kicks that one ahead, but referee spots the assistant referee who said it went into touch. We're going to have a line out here.
Both of these teams had players that were selected from this competition into the Major League Rugby draft this last fall. From Mid-Atlantic, you had a couple of Thomas Moore players. Tomas Casares, the number 8, was outstanding in this tournament, and now he's a New England Free Jack. And then you had Mike Weir, who was the MVP of the tournament for the Independent Reds, now playing with Old Glory DC. Some of the guys here hoping to follow their pathway.
Ball down there for Independent Red. Chuidian from Dartmouth takes that one down. Voath currently in the scrum half role. They move that ball wide. Looking sharp on the early attack here are Independent Red. Having a stand. Up in the tackle. Good work by Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic strong, trying to hold this one up. Create the turnover. Can't get it. Ball comes down to Independent Red. Back there again to Chuidian. Voath finds that ball. Gets it out to Antisev in the 15 jersey. Ball goes up for Beanie, but doesn't come down. Stays alive there for the Thunder Sharks. We're going to come back here. A referee has spotted something.
Helter skelter so far for the Thunder Sharks. They've had the ball. They haven't seemed to real plan for what to do with it, but they won't have to worry about that for now because the Independents have the ball. We know they have a lethal line out and maul. The line out hasn't been quite as on point. Of course, you have to haul it in before you can maul it in. And their line out hasn't connected so far yet early today. But if they do actually get that ball down and form the maul, they're pretty formidable. And their scrum is lights out as well. So this is exactly where the Independents want to be. Point blank distance. Opportunity to execute a line out and drive the ball in.
Good work here. Alhasso to put the ball in. Ball in his hands. At the back of that, here comes that line out. You see the red scrum cap from Corbett there. Players trying to work their through here for Mid-Atlantic. Ball's eventually going to go to ground, but we have an advantage for Independent Red. Looking off to that left-hand side. Free play for them before a penalty would come in. They keep this one tight initially. Mid-Atlantic having to fight their way for this one. Voath, ball in hand, and T-Sev, the first receiver position, wearing number 15. We're going to come back for that penalty. Ball down to the ground from Voath. We'll see where they decide to go. A couple little changes here. You see Jack Swords wearing number 22 is into the game as a prop. T-Sev steps in, it pushes that one out. We're going to go for another line out here, Pat. Another opportunity to drive this one over the line.
Yeah, that's right. I thought they would have had that last one. They got the penalty advantage. I thought they also got away with a little bit of a forward pass. It's not often you see the ball move forward in a maul, but I thought they got away with maybe a bit of a forward pass during that last one. A good push.
Corbett can only tip that one back. Drive away they go. Just outside of the line here. Opportunity for Jack Swords. Swords up at Dartmouth. Played at Holy Cross. Little move out there. Ball's alive. Can he get it over the line and down? They do. That's Charlie Beanie. Charlie Beanie, Greenwich High School product, playing at Northeastern, studying engineering. Touches down a try for Independent Red.
These Independent Reds, second row. I mean, we've talked about Ollie Corbett a lot, but Beanie is part of that group. He's the other half of the engine room. I've been impressed with his play. Big unit, big body. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get picked up by an MLR team at some point.
6'4", 225 certainly is a frame for it.
Let's take a look at the Independent Reds here, knocking on the door. Big carry by Swords, got put down. But a nice out pass from the 9. Bounces up into the hands of Beanie. Takes on 2 Thunder Sharks, no problem. He's a big man. Independents are up.
Beanie, a U18 Eagle on the training squad for the U20s.
It's a great program, Greenwich.
7-0. Independent Red goes up. Greenwich High School, certainly one of the premier programs out there.
Great touchline conversion there from the Independents. One of the better kicks we've seen so far here at the Shield Challenge.
Little chip goes inside the 22. Well taken by Keegan Bliss. Hair of the weekend so far. Bliss takes it out inside the 40-meter line. Ollie Corbett going to bury his head and take that one in. Had a runner just outside of him. We're going to go back to Antisev. Antisev is going to launch one downfield. Finds a bit of green grass. It's rolling towards the touchline. Did it roll inside the 22 is the question. Assistant referee on the spot there is going to award the line out to the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks at their own 22. Just so close, Pat.
Yeah, only maybe a foot or two the difference between it being an Independence attacking line out or the Thunder Sharks defensive line out.
Ball down for Mid-Atlantic. Messy ball back. They can only hoof this one to touch. And doesn't even find touch, so we're going to come back here. It's going to be into the hands of Antisev. The referee's going to come back, however, for a penalty against Independent Red. Good luck for Mid-Atlantic there.
Mid-Atlantic, we haven't seen them piece together much offense yet. Let's kick if they can. Well, looks like they're going to have an option to. Hey, would you like to kick it from here, or would you like to kick it from here? Oh, I'll kick it from closer to where we're trying to go, if you don't mind.
I've always been I'm waiting to see someone pick the kick from behind. Rarity.
Yeah.
Unless
exactly.
it was, a complete angle. Here comes Mid-Atlantic.
Love it.
Opportunity just either half. Go ahead.
Sometimes you get the referee who just tells you, he's like a good blackjack dealer and just tells you what you should do. Sometimes you get the one that's like, trying to pop quiz you and surprise you. They can trick you.
Now a knockback by Independent Red off the Jacob Smith line-out throw, but it winds up in the hands of the Thunder Sharks anyway. They move that one out quickly. Big drive coming in from the defense there from Independent Red. So back of their own 50-meter line come the Thunder Sharks. Trying to get some numbers down here on the jerseys. We apologize for not knowing all these names at the moment, but another penalty here. Here come the Thunder Sharks moving that ball across. Looking for some room to run. They're across the 50-meter line. Player coming in, trying to dive on that ball. Is it going to come back to the Mid-Atlantic side? It does indeed. So a little short pass, just trying to set things up here. The referee's going to come back for a penalty against Mid-Atlantic this time. Player coming in off his feet, not supporting his own body weight. Independent Red up 7-0. Chance to move this one downfield almost 9 minutes into this first half.
Independents have been dominating, suffocating this game. That was really the closest we'd seen to attacking possession from Mid-Atlantic, so it's a crucial error. You can see the Independents as they, a little bit different than the earlier game. Their first game of the day, they've shaken some of that rust off. They're playing a little bit more smoothly. Maybe even with a little bit less piss and vinegar behind them, but more smoothly. Skills are on point.
All up there, taken down by Corbett. Voath gets it out into the hand of Chewidian. We'll move there. They always make a bit of room. Voath finds Antisev. Antisev looking for some runners. Ball comes in behind there. Nice move to the wing. Here's Keegan Bliss. Keegan Bliss moves back in. Ball knocked forward. The tackle, it looked like, comes down to the Mid-Atlantic team. Great movement there by Independent Red, but an eventual knock-on just slips that one away. But under pressure are the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks here. Ball squirts out the side. We'll see who comes up with it. Referee spots a penalty on Estevez, I believe.
Not a lot lot of Portuguese players playing college rugby, but Estevez is one of them. As you mentioned earlier, he's a Portugal age grade player. Probably one of the few people in American rugby who was happy when the Eagles tied Portugal in the repechage, knocking them out of the World Cup.
Look at that. We have a big try coming here for Independent. We'll want to see that one again. Beautiful work. You know, Estevez plays at Brown, and their number one, Henry Gabriel, we were talking about in the last game, also Portugal U18 players. So 2 Portuguese players playing in Brown, no less. As we take another look at this phenomenal try, Pat.
Yeah, Keegan Bliss making the pass here to set it up, but it was a great chip here from the Independence fullback, Matt Antisev. Goes, gathers it himself. Scrappy play. Wasn't a lot on, and he went for it himself, backed himself. Great play by Antisev.
You can see how happy they are. Bounce of the ball, just going his way. Chance to convert his own try here for Antisev. Antisev, a
really
great player with
starting to get
Dartmouth.
into a rhythm. Yeah, he's a
I
very
think
good
these
player.
teams kind of need to settle down and to know who they are, Pat, right? Like it's an all-star game, so everybody wants to play flashy, wide, run all over the place rugby. But, the Independents and then a lot of these teams are kind of control teams, so they're playing a little bit wiser at the moment.
Well, they have a pattern. There's kind of some of these teams. That's a miss there on the conversion. But some of these teams, like the Thunder Sharks, they come out here and they really kind of rely on their individual brilliance. And it's when you're going to do well in these types of tournaments, it's breaking through that and getting teams to play into a rhythm, play into a pattern. And the team that gets to the point where most of their team knows where the ball's going next sooner usually succeeds here. And that's where the Independents are striving to do, whereas some of the other teams are just looking for that individual effort to get them that score.
Ball taken down by Independent off that kickoff. They're just over their own 40-meter line, but hauled in a touch, so it should be a Thunder Sharks line out here.
The wind's picked up here at Aviva Stadium. It's whipping in the face of the Thunder Sharks, so the Independents having the wind at their backs this half.
That one comes up and over, but doesn't go straight. I think when somebody doesn't, they didn't contest there from Independent Red, and with this kind of wind, might be give a little leeway on that, but I'm not the referee. I'm just a commentator, so the referee's going to call that one, Pat.
Houston is this Aviva Stadium and the complex that they've built here. There's 2 gorgeous, pristine, full-size pitches on the outside that the Major League Rugby Sabercats practice and train on. Those are being used all the time here. We've got this beautiful, gorgeous rugby purpose-built stadium. It's one of the absolute cathedrals and best setups in American rugby, but it is windy. You get a lot of wind down here, and it can become a bit of a wind tunnel and affect the play, and it looks like that's starting to happen.
Big pressure coming in from Independent Red on this one. All at their feet. And a little slip ball, unfortunate for them. Thunder Sharks going to pick this one up. Junior Gaffa, the Brown football player and rugby player. Knocked that one on, but it does come back to Mid-Atlantic eventually. They're going to have an opportunity to run. Referee's going to let them play. Over the 50-meter line they go, getting a little forward momentum. Good work by them, down by 12. They could use the points. Nice little sailing ball over the top in the hands of Preston James. Preston James tries to chip one through. Not happening there. Ball picked up by Robinson. Knocked down in the tackle. Going to be a scrum here for Mid-Atlantic. And result good for the Thunder Sharks, Pat. They're a little further into Independence territory.
That's right. They put the ball down there, and, giving the Independents the ball and making them run it out of their own end is not a bad strategy because you can play some defense and force them into a turnover. Now, through no real offense of their own, the Thunder Sharks are in the attack. And they got Aiden Guarnuccio. He was actually spent this fall. He's a scrum half here, about ready to put this in, wearing number 28. Spent the fall as my intern, doing some writing with National Collegiate Rugby and cover the fall 15 season. So shout out to Aiden. He's good to see him out here representing Scranton, the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks.
Referee's going to set this one down again. Rick Elbers to put this one through. Albers from Baltimore. Played Calvert Hall Rugby in high school. Pressure coming in from the Independents, but well marshaled by this set of forwards. Going out wide, Mid-Atlantic looking to run immediately. First phase strike is going to get shut down by Independent Red and draw some defense across the field. They have their offensive pattern set up. They'll step inside. Ball pop back up. Again, another forward pod moving here for the Thunder Sharks. Thunder Sharks looking out wide here. Nellig playing in that first receiver position. Nearly held up by Independent Red. Good passage of play here from Mid-Atlantic. Needing to really get their pattern together. Ball popped through there. Nothing happening as it comes back down to Independent Red. Big break here across the 50-meter line. Does he have the runners? He looks for a little offload. Doesn't quite come in favor. Chip forward into the try zone. If it rolls all the way through. Would have gone back to where it's from, but we're going to come back there to a 22-meter drop, or goal line drop, pardon me.
This has become one of the more exciting plays in rugby since it was instituted. These used to be scrums, and now we've got a team with their heels on their own end, having to drop from their own goal line. Yeah. Interesting choice to drop between all of the wickets, right? You got a lot of things you could clang off of if you miss that kick, and he clears it through.
And they get it back down there into the hands of Chuidian. Chuidian gets it off to Estevez. Estevez right in front of the post. Quick ball for Antisev. Antisev looking for some runners. Antisev holds on to himself. Antisev goes across for 2 in a row as long as it's awarded, and it is. He takes down that unique bounce before, and this time just finds his way through a gap. Touches down the ball. Great work there by Matt Antisev.
Antisev gets the ball here. Has a couple of decoy runners outside of him. That's a good carry by Estevez. I think they're looking at Junior Gaffo. That's who I'd have been looking at, number 18, and Ollie Corbett, both running those switch lines. But Antisev keeps the ball, and that deception, the threat of Corbett or Gaffo was just enough to give him the crease to get in for the score.
Gaffa played Back Bay Rugby Club in high school, played football for the most part at Brown. As a senior, came out late in their fall season.
Reminds me of Ed Tandy. He was another Back Bay player in high school who went up to Cal to play football. Known after his Cal football eligibility had expired, he moved over to play a little Cal rugby. Very electric player, and looks like Junior Gaffa's got the making to be the exact same. Outside linebacker, all Ivy second team. Hopefully we'll see him at the Collegiate Rugby Championship this April 28th through the 30th outside of Washington, D.C.
Oh, looking forward to that. And Tisev, great tries, not quite converting them. His boots are not working as well as his trickery in the middle of the field. In his running game at the moment in Tisev, but they continue to push ahead score-wise. Do Independent Red 17-0 under a minute on the game clock in this first half.
I used to tell my coach, look, I can warm up or I can play. And if I was in Tisev, I'd say I can either score the tries or I can convert them, but I can't do both. You pick what you want me to do, coach.
Mid-Atlantic hangs this one up. It finds some ground. It finds a Mid-Atlantic player, but turned over quickly. I thought there might have been a knock-on in there or two, but we're going to come back. It's going to be in Estevez's hands. It's the ball down to Swords. Launch downfield. Finding some green grass. A little pop coming back up, but Mid-Atlantic able to hang on to that one. Ball moved away. Cross midfield come the Thunder Sharks. Little chip ahead. Wind up in Tisev's hands. Kicking game going on here. Comes back to Mid-Atlantic. That's Matt Weston. It is Matt Weston, Grand Cayman Island player. All into the hands of Ethan Ghostlaw. Ghostlaw, the junior from Catholic University. Remember, Catholic University coaches on the coaching staff here for Mid-Atlantic. Haven't talked about those guys yet. Certainly will do. Rego takes a good hit there. Driven backwards are the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks. But a penalty eventually for a player coming off their feet here. Opportunity late in the half for Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, good job by Guarnuccio, stealing an interception deep in their own end and then giving them that possession that resulted in that penalty and some free yardage here after this kick.
In this Mid-Atlantic team, we'll talk about them. John Solomon, the coach, Steve Neighbors, both from Catholic University, from American University, Nate Turagano, and Brad Burns from Catholic as well, Joe Rooney from the Boston Wolfhounds, joining and rounding out the coaching squad for this Mid-Atlantic team. All up for the Thunder Sharks. Corbett comes through, putting a lot of pressure on the scrum half, holding them up in the air. Mid-Atlantic trying to drive this one forward. Sue comes down with this ball, eventually taken to the ground by the Thunder Sharks. Thunder Sharks move this one wide. Ball bounces off the ground. Little knock on there. Referee spots it. See if he looks at his watch, and he does. That's the end of our first half here. Independence Red, 17. Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks, 0. NCR Men's All-Stars 2023, The Shield in Houston, Texas. We'll be back with second half action in just a minute.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing.
Welcome back to Aviva Stadium, Houston, Texas, where the Independent Red lead the Thunder Sharks of Mid-Atlantic. Named the Thunder Sharks as they're borrowing some Great Lakes Thunderbirds jerseys. John Broker with Pat Clifton. Independent Red are ready to get us going again. And T-Sev to kick off with 2 tries to his name in the first half. And Mid-Atlantic, the Thunder Sharks on the move, looking to make up some of that ground, Pat.
Yeah, they've got quite a bit of ground to make up. That's the way to do it, though. I think kick for some purchase, turn the Independents around, give them a long field, and tackle, and just tackle. Here we go. I like to see that. Number 35 for the Thunder Sharks is pumping up the crowd. He's ready to put in an effort this half. Got to pressure these lineouts here. First off, you don't want to deal with them all if they win them cleanly. And secondly, because it's a great turnover opportunity.
That one is a turnover there, taken down by the Thunder Sharks across the 40-meter line of the Independent they go. Little runner coming in there across the 40-meter line. Independent regathering. Looking for some better running this time are these Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks. Ball goes down. Zach Uhler took that one down. Big hit
what
comes
a hit
in on
by
Chad
Gaffa.
Tiernan. Junior Gaffa, absolutely right. He can hit him. Thunder Sharks. Put out a wide one, get just in past Keegan Bliss. They've got an opportunity out here if they can convert. Get it out inside the 22, but a knock-on creeps in. Unlucky for the Thunder Sharks there. Going to come back for a penalty against the Independent, I believe, for an offsides.
I think they might have called an offsides on Gaffa just out of disbelief how nice a hit that was. Great platform here for the Sharks. They've got some good targets in this line out too. Some tall timber.
I certainly do if they can get it up there. Colton Moyer there. We've seen a bit of him. The IUP player.
6'7". Moyer's a
Yeah.
NCR All-American.
They're not going to get it to him, though. It's going to be taken down by a steal from Independent Red. Independent Red, a little show and go with the ball there, working their way out to the 22-meter line. Big number 6 there, Coleman Jackson making that. And T-Sev is going to put this one to the boot. Gets it out to the 50-meter line. On the move are the Thunder Sharks. Thunder Sharks move that ball out to the width, pardon me. They're just barreling in on that one. Gaffa trying to turn it over. Goes offsides illegally, so we're going to come back here for a penalty for Mid-Atlantic. Opportunity to push this one downfield again.
You take the good with the bad when you get a guy back from football who hasn't played rugby for a little while. And you hit as hard as he does, and you move as quickly as he does. Everything you do is a little bit more noticeable. And maybe on the referee's radar.
See the Independent Red coaching staff right there. Ed Turbity, Dave LaFlamme, Kyle Sumption, Matt Terest. Thank you, Matt, for getting us all the player information, taking the management duties. Line out coming for Mid-Atlantic. There's the ball. Jacob Smith to put this one in. They try to go to Moyer up front. They get the ball eventually, but it looks like it didn't go straight. So opportunity here for the Independent Red. One would have to assume there's a scrum coming, or Ali Corbett indeed says that's what they would like. Scrum of the 15-meter line for Independent Red.
Especially with these all-star sides, I'd like to see a kind of just lean towards the fundamentals, right? The lineouts are generally won on the fundamentals and the quickness you get off the ground. They're not generally won by how much movement you have on the ground. That movement stuff really comes when the margins between victory and loss are so small that you try to create some differentiator. But at this level, I'd really like to see a focus on just good, fast footwork, really clear communication, and that's how you win lineouts. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of trickery, not a lot of options. We saw another team throw a 3, 4, 5, and 7-man lineout out in one game. And these setups, and I think the independents are doing a really good job of keeping it simple. Just get really good at the simple stuff, and that'll usually do it well enough for you.
Estevez off the back. Inside their 22 are independent red. They're going to want to settle this one down. Looking for a couple of runners. They get it to big Jack Swords. Swords bounces off one, eventually taken down there by Gregoire. Pardon me, that was Rahetti. And T-Sev is going to push that one into touch. It's going to be a line out here for Mid-Atlantic.
It's a great line out here for the Sharks. They just need to keep focused, not get a little frustrated. When you've had a couple of failures in a row at something like this, you're usually presented with a fork in the road. You can either decide to stay process-oriented and just focus on what you're doing, or you can get frustrated with the outcomes not coming. The Sharks can just stay process-oriented here, improve that process, and execute on this lineout. They got a great platform.
Jacob Smith puts this one in again, sails over the top again, but winds up in the hands of a waiting player. Thunder Sharks on the move. Little pop back in. Back around they come. Ball up into the hands of Shikarjian. Squirts out of the scrum out of the ruck that time. Has to be cleaned up by the Thunder Shark scrum half. A penalty this time against Independent Red. Player coming down off their feet. Jackson not thrilled with the call, but need to accept that one, and quickly they go. Looking to pop this one up. Pops it up into the hands of an Independent Red player. We're going to come back again here. And quickly they go, looking for some room. They're 5 meters out. Here come the Thunder Sharks. Knocked it on again. All that good work. Might have just wanted to slow that one down just a little bit. Here comes Independent Red from their own 5-meter line, putting in these little offloads. Jack Swords pops that one up to Ollie Corbett, but I think it was popped forward eventually there. Looking back for a scrum to Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, another great break for Mid-Atlantic. I mean, they went for it. Garnuccio went on the quick tap, and unfortunately no one went with him. Found himself isolated, resulted in a turnover. But he gets rewarded because now look at where he's putting this ball, rolling it into the scrum. It's much closer to the try line, and it was really just advancing the ball, letting New England giving him a long field, giving him the opportunity to make a mistake, and then capitalize on it. So now the Thunder Sharks just on the precipice, just on the doorstep. The first time they've been this close with this good an opportunity in possession to punch a score in.
Henry Gabriel comes into the game, a tight head for Independent Red. See if he makes a difference here as referee pulls the scrums together. Scrum has come apart. Referee just going to reset this one here.
Trying to find Connor Homan in there. He's on the field. He usually lines up a tight head for St. Joe's. Struggling to identify him in that pack, but I don't think I see him in the front row.
Yeah, I haven't listed without a number here, so he may not be in this one.
I think they might have him a weak side flanker over here, which is an interesting move.
Big move there from this Thunder Sharks team, looking for their first points of the game. Not quite finding it so far. Wrapping back around, coming across. Space opens up there for Carney. He can't find the try line. Good defense here from Independent Red so far. Little pop on. Here's a big fella. He can't reach the line. It's Chikarjian. Gonna come back. For an injury here. Like Henry Gabriel is down. And we'll just sit back for a second while the medical staff attends to this young man and hope for the best for him. We'll take a look at a couple of plays while we wait for this.
We got the New England Independents just getting that pass out, bobbled a bit, but he scoops it up with plenty of space and still able to punch it over. That was the second row there for the Independents earlier in the game. And the touchline conversion, maybe the most impressive play so far. And there's been a lot to choose from the Northeast, including this chip and chase from the fullback, Matt Antisev, rewarded for the hustle. His second score of the game. Here's Antisev again. This is actually the second score of the game. That was the first one. Antisev using the dummy lines of Gaffa and Corbett to find some space and dot down in the corner. Looks like our man is back on his feet, so we're going to get back to the rugby here pretty quickly.
And Gabriel's just going to come off the field, see who works their way on for this Independent Red team. That's Omar Elgin-Dari, wearing number 3 and wearing number 24. Dandab Dorji, Northeastern player from the Philippines, or for the Philippine national team, so certainly a good person to replace with here.
Got to start marking down all these national teams. I mean, I think you said Cayman Islands earlier. Philippines, you got Portugal.
Called Matt Weston for Cayman, and I think I was calling a Olympic qualifier at that point. But yeah, we have Portugal, we have some boys from Zimbabwe out here, Namibia.
Maybe that's what I'll do with my break here as we go into our last game before we have an hour break. When we come back for the final 2 of pool play of day 1, maybe we'll go and figure out all the countries that are represented here.
That would be impressive. As we see the ball coming in here, Voath put this one in for Independent Red. Off the back for Estevez. Estevez buries his head. Estevez gets a couple of meters there. Players got a release from Mid-Atlantic. Have done. They're going to send another big unit in there. Elgin-Dari. Voath looking for a runner. Finds Estevez again. Not making a ton of ground here, Independent. Make some room. Have done. Antisev from his own try line, looking to find the safety of touch, and has done. So it's going to be a Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks line out inside the 40-meter line of Independent Red.
Thunder Sharks dominating territory in this half. It's a bit of a turn to table from the first half. And able to really capitalize. The full line out has become a little bit less in vogue in rugby these days, but that is what the Thunder Sharks are opting for. Gives them a lot of movement options. Defense has a lot to look at, and it takes away bodies from outside in the field. So if you do win it, you have a little more space if you spin it.
Ball kick back from Mid-Atlantic, looking to get something going here. Good defense pouring on by Jackson. Back the other way go the Thunder Sharks. A little flat-footed there, so have to go in and clean it up. Nice line break, little pop over the top, inside the 22 they go. Is this going to be the try they're looking for? It is going to be Mid-Atlantic to touch it down under the post. Good work, Mid-Atlantic. Excellent for Mark Carney.
Yeah, Mark Carney did a great job on that. He's an excellent player from Georgetown. La Jolla is one of the best D2 programs in the country. Little dummy pass, slips through, keeps his leg driving. Then a little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar pass, a little hook shot pass over the shoulder, leading to the try here for the Thunder Sharks. Somebody had to make a special play to spring them free, and it was Carney from the Georgetown Hoyas doing it.
San Francisco Goldgate player in high school puts the points on the board. That kick is good. 7 points on the board for this Thunder Sharks team.
So we see some subs roll back on here for the Independents. As we mentioned, they've got 3 sides here this weekend. Not mixing between the 3, but each of them all stacked with talent. And got some fresh legs coming on to hopefully finish this one for them to try to fight their way to another victory in the title defense campaign.
You see Abe Kamara wearing number 14 there on the field. 17-7. 10 points in it here. Still 4 minutes of the game clock. A little bit of injury time. We had Henry Gabriel getting attended to there. Took some time off the clock. And it's red. Big hit comes in. Kamara and Gaffa. Long kick back. Independent red. The ball in the hands of Reed Santos into the game. Santos gets a ball to Victor Gordon. Gordon, French-born fly half, gets a little bounce there. Ball spilled forward, however, from Chewidian. Picked up by Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic wasting no time, getting some go forward here, looking for that space. Looking for a little line break and finds it. Gets the ball out again. Can they make hay of this? Looking at it, looking for these little pop passes, not going a hand, rolls in a touch. You would expect Independent red will probably take their time about this. Earn a little time off the clock as needed.
Man management, leg management, energy management. Take your extra time tying that shoe. That's what I'd be saying. If I was Independence here.
Matthias Calvo, captain of Dartmouth, to put this one in the game. We're number 21. Hasso at the front. Orgy at the back. All well taken in there, up in on the hands of Jackson. Jackson's going to find some room, which he has done throughout the day. And the game coming his way sooner or later as the ball goes back to Gordon. Gordon is going to play the position game. The heads of Mid-Atlantic. Doesn't go forward. Not a lot of room to run here. Ball popped over the back. Well taken there. That looked like Gaffa. Quickly they come, getting the ball out wide. Estevez on the outside there, but not being used as Gabe Reardon takes that one into contact. Good fight coming from the Thunder Sharks. All up, looking for a little pass to Kamara. Kamara gets hit for his troubles, but can't find any room, but a knock-on creeps in there. Just a couple of minutes in the game clock. We're going to have a scrum here inside their own 22 to the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks.
I didn't catch the number, but it was a really nice physical cover tackle coming from the blind side of an independent player from the Mid-Atlantic. Help slow that attack down. Get the ball back in Guarnuccio's hands here. Allow them to either clear their lines or maybe run it. At this point in the game, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys went for it.
Yeah, they certainly need the points. 10 points. The difference at the moment, a little bit more time will be coming. As we said, referee's time at the end of the 40-minute. Penalty against Mid-Atlantic there.
It's unfortunate, going to reverse that opportunity for them. Now the Independents up 10. Say let's go up 13. Take a little more time off that clock. We'll take a
Stevez
rest.
points towards the post. Nobody's stepping up to kick this ball at the moment, so we'll see.
When you get late in the game and you get the opportunity while you're up a couple of scores already to just add points while your forwards do literally nothing, you're going to take that.
Santos stepping up here. They might want to get about this here. And, oh, there's the ball. Jack Swords bringing it in.
The bum shoulder, no less. It's a MVP play there.
After this game, we'll see how Santos does here. Santos off the post there. Game is live. Independent Red still have a hold of this ball. Good, smart work by them. They've got runners out to the left-hand side. We'll see where they decide to go. And penalty against the Independent as we're at the 40-minute mark. We're going to take a little break after this. We'll be back at 2 o'clock Central Time. The Pacific Coast Grizzlies versus the Southeast Bears in the stadium. And Independent White versus the Tri-State Foundry on Field 1. Mid-Atlantic to run here. Their own 10-meter line. Matias Calvo comes in and makes the big hit. They're looking to break away. We'll see what happens. Calvo drives him in a touch there. Referee looking at his watch. Referee whistles us for the end of our match here. 17-7. Independent Red go up 2-0. 2 wins, no losses. We're going to step away here, Pat. And then it is certainly the end of our game. I was correct. Yeah. So 17-7. We're going to step away. We're back at 2 o'clock Central Time. Join us again. Pat Clifton, John Broker, Next Level Rugby, everybody at NCR. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back at 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, another friendly reminder.
Like we clear?
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening. We've been cutting, shaping, and painting. We've created strength and beauty time and again. Our machines are made for one thing: the perfect hit. We are the crouch. We are the bind. We are the set. We are the squeeze. We are the hit. We are Rhino, home of the scrum.